Good afternoon, everyone. I am creating a video to kind of go over this week's work. It'll probably be 2 videos. But I wanted to start with Monday. We didn't have, obviously, some of you guys didn't show up for the Google Meet, which is fine. But we had a chance to go over this in the Google Meet. But I wanted to create a video to go over for those who weren't here. Monday, we had a couple different things. I am having everyone do a Constitution and New Nation pre-test. So this is where we will be moving after Thanksgiving. We're going to start looking at how America decides to build their government. We read a little bit about the articles. Now we're going to go into our current government, which is the Constitution. And so this is a pretest. What does it mean to be a pretest? This means that this is just testing what knowledge you already have. You don't have to have any. Some of this you may not know, and that is okay. You can go through and make your best guess. You can go through and say, I don't know. All of these are fine. This is just for me to see what you already know so we can move forward. If you already got, everyone already knows it, we won't go over it again and again and again. So this does not count for a grade. This is just for me to check in, and it's just good practice. You'll get to see how I word some of my test questions, which would be nice. The next thing was these two. Since it's coming up on Thanksgiving, we have a Thanksgiving-related reading and some reading questions. Let's open this up. So, as we're looking about Thanksgiving and jumping into that, I want to do a little bit of history, read some articles on Thanksgiving, and learn a little bit more about things that we thought we knew and maybe some things that were surprises. So for here, this is a KWL, so things I know, things I wonder, and things I've learned. You can put 4 things. Things I know about Thanksgiving. 4 things that you know. You meet up with family. You have lots of food. Maybe you'll remember that somehow Native Americans were involved and that there were pilgrims. That's fine. 3 things that you have questions on that maybe you've wondered in the past. This doesn't always have to be history related. It could be like, why does my mom always cook the same dish? And so on. That's fine. And then the first 3 questions are for you before you do the reading. So when did you learn about the history of Thanksgiving? Do you remember when you started to learn about Thanksgiving? When it comes to elementary schools, did you make costumes for Thanksgiving in elementary schools? And then 3, what's your favorite part of the holiday? And then afterwards, there's 5 questions that can be answered in, let me see, our Thanksgiving reading, which is everything you learned about Thanksgiving is wrong. And I'll tell us some common myths and misconceptions about the history and the story behind Thanksgiving that we often learn about. While you're reading, think about why we maybe have a myth for Thanksgiving that, they came together and they had this dinner and that was the beginning of Thanksgiving. And what historical evidence do historians have from this time? One of the hard things about this time period is there's not a lot of historical evidence. You have letters, oral histories from Native Americans, and a few other things, but not a lot of evidence. So just be thinking about that. So that was the assignment for Monday. And I have tuned in for part 2. We'll talk about Tuesday's assignment.